Welcome back to another episode of the Scale Smart podcast. I'm your host, Jacob, and also the founder of NetScale Growth. Today, I have the pleasure of being joined by the co-founder and COO of PRISMA Software, Narcis Murarescu. Narcis, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. My pleasure.
So, Narcis, tell me a little bit more about what your job role consists of PRISMA, obviously being the co-founder and the COO, and what do you guys do at PRISMA?
Basically, what we do, we specialize in automotive industry in highly regulated fields. So that means safety and security, which are the two main standards which you would encounter in the industries. Regardless if it's aeronautics, automotive, banking, even in banking, you need to be extremely secure. So, and these are the fields where we are tackling with in regulated software. Now we also launched some products, but this is another, like 20% of the business, another side, and I will not focus on it. I will focus on our engineering services and how we do what we do and how we integrate everything. So basically my role is making sure that all the 4 offices operate properly, regardless what it is. I need to hire someone. I need to do R&D. I need to jump in and be a product manager. I will do it. We're a small company, 35 people. So we need to be extremely flexible, especially in this market in the past 2 years. During this year has been a shift. Many say due to AI, but I would say mainly because of the slowdown of the German industry for us and not that much of the AI revolution that we see around. If you ask me, the AI is just pushing further for more development and more innovation everywhere.
And since you guys have expanded from freelancing to a multi-location company, what would you say are some of the biggest challenges you currently face and have faced in the past, and how have you overcome them?
The biggest challenge which we have now is we have 2 actually. One is getting and maintaining the current customers with the all offshoring, which is happening around. When I mean offshoring, it's mainly Southeast Asia, like entire companies are just moving there. Even we considered it, but we took another approach. And the second one is people not wanting to go to office anymore. And this means even the customer office, it's really hard to get people to understand that sometimes you just need to be there, hands-on.
And going on what you said about like getting the correct companies, and why would you say that's like a problem? I've seen this a lot, and not so much like getting the correct companies, but also companies not seeing the value of what, let's say, for example, you bring. So what would you say, Narcis, are some of the steps you're taking to try and overcome these challenges?
The first which we take is over-specialization. So basically, we go in these 2-3 niches which we have expertise and over-specialize. We do it faster than others. We do it with less of a headache for our customers and with a business to business. So basically, what our customers want, he's a manager hired somewhere, right? I'm a business owner. They want to sleep well at night, not have the stress of not delivering. It's also an emotional part. When you are working business to business, even if it's not seen firsthand from the outside. And in order to deliver quality, we have to over-specialize. And when I mean here, we really go very, very niche in highly regulated systems like AZD, which is the highest safety level in automotive industry. Basically, let's say in plain words, systems that if they fail in the car, they might kill it.
As embedded software competition heats up, which strategic moves like your keyless IoT or your medtech partnerships, what would you say are helping you stand out? You also mentioned there about you guys being faster, being less more of a headache, but just tell me a little bit more.
So basically, what we do, we go really on a narrow niche where we get to know the regulation and we get to know the system where it applies, and we get to know the software and how to fit it to different architectures very fast in order to make it to the start of production, which is a term used by industrial production lines to achieve certain deadlines. Being a vertical and horizontal integrated industry, mandatory to hit it. You don't miss the start of production. So that's 100%. And when you are working horizontally integrated, you need to make sure all the suppliers, even us as a software supplier, makes his job on time. And that's the added value which we bring. And yeah, basically, this is how we differentiate in the software and engineering services.
And not just many people are embracing AI, machine learning models. What role do you see AI placing in embedded system development or even like automated testing at Prisma?
Yeah, glad you asked. We are tackling with some AI models, not generative AI, but more in the direction of agentic AI, because we do not want to reinvent something we want to test our software, for example. And also with the compliance on the code quality, especially and code metrics, there's where it could be really, really helpful. And I see that like testers on software level, they will get not put aside or lose their jobs, but we will need less testers for the same amount of work, which we use a whole team, maybe 1 or 2 people can do it instead of 10. So there's where it just the repetitive steps, it will just go into automation and automatically generate the test cases, for example. That's where we also use it instead of having someone writing each test case and documented everything. But this we did, or we partially did, with some scripts and automation in the past, or certain tools that we integrated together. And now that's what AI, especially agentic AI, will close on and will really, really help closing the gap for the manual work, which you could not automate until now. Why? Because it understands a bit the language. And there's where it will really support the automation, that, let's say, putting more softwares in the pipeline and faster deliveries. Basically, was agile until now, it would be a faster agile. But
carry on.
Yeah, so basically what we did, I can give you an example. We have a product which is a fintech platform. We went to accountants and asked them, what's your pain point? Which is the gap at the task that takes you the most amount of time? And we closed that gap with our platform. Basically, taking a small model, which we specialized by fine-tuning, to do one job, but do it really well, where the accountant was needed until now. And for example, in this case of accountants, I see it, they will have a more pastoral role. They will just check that, like an auditor, just check that everything matches, everything is okay. We won't need them to do calculations by hand anymore.
And Narcis, looking into the future for the company, in terms of expansion, growth, scaling, what are some of the goals you've got for Prisma over the next 6 or 12 months or so?
So we're launching our fintech platform. We're looking forward to around 3,000 clients at the end of the year. We're in an accelerated launch right now. That's on the fintech, on the product side. And on the engineering side, we're looking into the systems where we are freely specialized, like Kila's high-end engineering services as model-based development, regulations like ASPICE, and projects which are now under an audit and they need to reach some milestones. This is the direction we will try to go on short term. Now, on long term, we're looking into diversifying into medtech, as it's also embedded system. They also recently discovered they need much more cybersecurity than they would have wanted to. Recently, in the past 5 years, basically, through the pandemic with the cyber attacks, especially in the UK, I think you maybe heard a bit or were familiar with what happened especially with the infrastructure of the hospitals.
And Narcis, if people wanted to reach out to you or find out a little bit more about what you guys do, where's the best place for people to find you?
Online. So basically LinkedIn or just our website, prisma-software.ca. We're based in Switzerland. Also, there's always, every day of the week, there's someone in our office, so we can also discuss face to face.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure having you on.
Likewise. Thank you very much, Jacob.
Thank you. Bye-bye.